going on, Future Cannabis Project community? Back again. It's that rotten son of a blunt, Lobster Fan Farms. This is the second segment of today with a not so brief, or very brief, shall I say, intermission. And back cold kicking it. Links in the chat if anyone wants to hop on. I'm just snipping in between smoking and doing that thing.
Simply to introduce into all of this positive good.
So, Paul.
Hey,
Back
man.
on the block.
Back in action.
What's up, C-Bob? No, that was not Face Sitter. I think Face Sitter's in fucking Bali or Indonesia, somewhere out in them beautiful islands, being young. He's doing
I
something
forgot
cool.
all about Face Sitter. That's that's funny.
I haven't heard from him in a little bit, but the last I heard, he's out in the beautiful islands doing something cool.
Bali sounds nice.
Links in the chat. Hop on if you want to chill out. C-Bob. Hope all's good with you.
Yeah. That last conversation has got me wanting to make biscuits and gravy for dinner. I got sausage in the fridge. I think that decision's been made. It's a pretty cool concept. Trimming on some pineapple pith over there.
No orange cheese still.
Sounds amazing too.
Still on the orange cheese.
That sounds pretty nice.
You know, it's funny. My buddy just left. He's on his way to go film another broadcast. Like he's going to do an interview right now, driving about an hour away. So it's funny.
Nice. What's his channel? Does he have a channel on YouTube we can follow?
Yep, the Breakfast Connections.
Right.
It's like the title from last one. But he's going to interview my favorite grower in Maine right now, which is cool. I can't wait to watch it.
Nice. I'll have to try to find that on YouTube. The Breakfast Connections. It's pretty cool. It definitely made me hungry. They're fixing to kick off the first surfing event of the season at Bell's Beach here in about 25 minutes.
Oh, badass. That's
Waiting to see if the waves are good enough for the comp to run today or not.
badass.
Man, you got to go out of here, buddy. There's a wasp. There's a wasp in my room. I don't want to piss him off. I just want to leave. Man, he's going to sting me if I try to ease him out the door, I have a feeling. Get. No way, dude. This fucking wasp just got tangled up in a spider web trying to attack the spider. You gotta see this shit. This is wild. Oh, he got away. Oh, fucker. Sam? He's got the spider in his mouth right now. Fucking crazy.
That's wild.
I'm glad wasps don't get bigger than that. Jesus. There you go, buddy. You got out. Nice. With as much classical music as you've turned me on, I'm kind of inclined to think you've probably read some good books too. Have you ever read anything by Dostoevsky? Like Notes from the Underground or Crime and Punishment or The Idiot or any of those books?
I don't think so.
It's pretty. It's not easy reading by any means. He's a 1800s philosopher, Dostoevsky, but he wrote Crime and Punishment, The Idiot, Notes from the Underground, and the Gulag Archipelago. But I could see you really getting into a couple of those books, listening to the audiobook. Pretty cool shit.
I think I've heard of the Gulag Archipelago. I think someone told me to check that out one time too. I think I heard
it's an incredible. It's a must read, I would say. It's about this guard, about the during the Holocaust. It's about guards that were made to work in the gulags during the Holocaust, and it kind of goes into the yin and yang about it'll get you thinking about what you would do, what you wouldn't do to preserve your family's life and whatnot. It's wild.
Yeah.
I think Peterson says Dostoevsky philosophizes with a hammer. That was Jordan Peterson's philosopher, nonetheless. You're way too young to be interested in that stuff, Trav. I used to read all the time, but it got to where it's a pain to read. It fucks with my eyes. But nowadays, you can get audiobooks on so much stuff for free. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I bet even YouTube has some stuff like that.
That's where I've been listening to the audiobooks on YouTube. It's pretty amazing, actually. There's a real short book on YouTube called My Friends that I listened to recently. Also, it's only about 3-hour audiobook. There's 2 parts on YouTube. You might get a kick out of that one too. Really cool book. I broke the dog of chasing the chickens. Now she just hangs with them. The chickens, they hang with her. They're laying with her now, which is amazing. It was touch and go at first, though. Man. Do you keep that whole room up there atmospherically controlled for your drying and trimming?
Yes.
It'll be air conditioner season very soon, but for now it's good just with the heater when needed.
Nice. Well, does getting too cold mess things up, or does it just lower the relative humidity?
I feel like freezing or putting stuff in the fridge may be good long-term storage, but short-term, I don't think it wants to get that cold. Once it's done drying, I feel like if it's in the process of drying, not the best to get down to like the 40s and, stuff like that. But I feel like even when it's all done and in the jar, I still wouldn't want to get in that cold unless I was trying to tuck it away for a while.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure on the science behind it, but just from like what I've noticed, yeah, if it gets too hot or too cold, something seems to change where it just.
I think the more it fluctuates, the better chance it has of getting famery. I need to get my AC hooked up here. I should have already done it. Whenever the roosters hear a backup beeper, they crow. It's hilarious. A lot of other things make them crow, but a backup beeper is a guarantee. You hear that bus backing up, they crow every fucking time. Is it warm up? How hot is it up there, Travis? Warm?
Yesterday it was beautiful. It got almost to 70. It was the first day like that all year, but today it's back to rainy cold. It's probably 38 or something today, rain.
Yeah, it can't make up its mind here. It's probably 80 right now. Every bit of 80, I bet.
It's a cold, dreary day up here. I watched old film, Humphrey Bogart film this morning, Casablanca. It seems like a perfect morning for Casablanca.
Yeah, you'll definitely like listening to Dostoevsky. If you got time, be bored and listen and pay attention, I think you'll get your mind spinning. Nietzsche. I think I'm getting confused there. Settle down out there, Dumpy. Settle the fuck down. You ain't gotta run him to death, man. Leave him alone. So Italian potheads are cunts. Time out. What? What's that mean? Nico, you must really love bacon. Every time I see you typing, you type, I love bacon.
Listen, you fucking bacon eater.
Yeah, you baconator.
Don't be bringing that shit talking shenanigans over here. You're entertaining. Our hogs are better than yours. You go to Missouri, you go find a hog out there, you shit all over them French hogs. That's for damn sure.
And little French piglets. We still talking about bacon? We're way past idiocracy. I wish idiocracy was real. We're beyond that, I think. It's like 1984 meets Idiocracy exponentially. It is kind of daunting, though, how collectively low the population IQ is. I reading some study the other day, Rotten, where I think somewhere around 38% of the American population IQ is like right at the cutoff to where it's high enough to be a janitor in the army. Like, so like a good 30% don't even have a high enough IQ to be a janitor in the military. Is that like, could not even be real?
Is it still better than France, I wonder?
Definitely. I don't know.
That's where my brain immediately went on that. I mean, not that I don't believe it. You know, it's a shame. I do believe it, but I wonder if we're still better than.
It's questionable, Trav. Things got it's. Yeah, you hear chickens. Sorry if they're too loud.
Adds to the vibes. The birds are always welcome, even if it's just Edgar.
Some of the girls, anyway. Buy more medium. Man, I'd love to go see Australia. Place looks insane.
Yeah.
Especially Western Oz. Man, it looks just wild and rugged. They got a bird in Australia rotten called a carabera, I think is what it's called. Have you ever heard of them?
I don't think so.
It looks like a big fucking ostrich or an emu, but apparently they can hit you one time and disembowel you. That they can kill humans.
Jesus.
I found that out the other day watching a TV show. This lady let one walk up next to her, and they were talking about. Anyway, long story short, I never knew there was a bird like that.
I'm calling that shotgun country wherever that thing's walking around.
You're fucking ain't right. This thing's huge, man. It's got this big head that looks like a fucking axe on top of its head.
Bear gun.
Apparently, it hits its prey with its head and then pulls their bowels out and eats their bowels.
Jesus.
Yeah, that ain't no chicken. Man, it's gorgeous. Does New York have like a finite number of caregivers licenses that they issue?
From what I know, there is a finite amount, but they've just increased it big time because there's not enough supply to meet the demand. So I think they're being smart by kind of issuing them until they get to that point where it's like, it meets a happy medium instead of some places where they just either don't give enough or give way too many. But as of right now, they're still issuing them, but it might stop eventually once the supply and demand kind of even out for now.
It's interesting. Here in Virginia, they've got they are gonna have a finite number, but I believe it's 10 grand for the license. Which I don't know if that's a lot or little. I don't know. It sounds like a lot. It's a lot of money to me, no matter what. But
I'd say that's low to medium as far as the overall picture. You're talking like Colorado or California. It's 6 digits to start.
oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Certain places are more affordable. Like I feel like Michigan's more affordable. Oklahoma's more affordable, but I think Washington's very expensive. It varies drastically for sure.
Interesting.
What's crazy is too, I might pay close to like maybe 1% of what a California license gives you, and I'm able to do way more. Like maybe not as many plants, as much weight, but what I'm able to do with my product and like maneuverability, I may have more rights and only pay 1% what they do. So it's like, to me, I never really thought it out. It's so extreme. They have access to California, which is different though. We have, I think, 1.5 million people. Someone looked up the other night. They got 60 million or whatever it is. So there's access to that market, but I'd rather pay 1% and have more rights. Call me crazy.
Yeah, 6 digits is a lot to invest in any fucking thing. I mean, damn. 5 digits is a lot to invest. But I think it'd be worth it being able to legally sell it, though, not have to worry about getting in trouble. I think also the main benefit, at least my thinking right now, is like in getting that license is that it might make it easier to do like clinical trials and stuff on product, or at least get testing and stuff done and get it in the hands of people that might be able to. I know you see it in the skateboarding scene too, but the level of surfing nowadays, same with skating and motorcycles, it's out of control. Next level, what they're doing.
Yeah, it's unimaginable.
Honestly, like, yeah.
Even in my wildest imaginations, which my imaginations were running wild then about skateboarding, I still can't believe it. Like, it's crazy.
I know, man. There's cats out there that are 15 years old that skate better than the Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. And just doing crazy shit. Surfing too. Some of the stuff that they're surfing these days is just defies the realm of what you think could even be possible that the human body could survive.
It's crazy to me too, because it's only like a generation or two back, you know, like modern surfing, like, you know, America style, like it's only from, you know, not too many generations ago. And then skateboarding came not too long after. It's like a lot of those guys are still alive is what I'm trying to say. It's crazy to see how far it's gone. It makes me think now, like, what 2 generations from now, what's going on? My mind just got blown because I don't think there's any way we can imagine it, how far it's going to go. Like, I'm like, what are people doing? Building to building, like rooftop shit? Like, no worry, just fucking fall to your death.
It is crazy. The shit. Do you see that guy riding the motorcycle through that moving train, jumping that ramp that passed through the moving train car as the train's going by? Shit like that.
Yeah, that's
bonkers.
It's big balls. It's
yeah, bonkers. The new wave pool in Virginia Beach is out of control. It is so sick. I'm gonna have to give it a test out here in a couple weeks once it gets warmer. She can hear herself echoing back on my computer. She's talking to herself. Silly bird. Why did I stop echoing? Has that echo been there or did it just pick up? What happened?
Echo. Mic check.
Echo. Oh, maybe not.
I don't hear it.
I could hear the chicken clucking back to me, but that's all. Because she was standing there, she clucked, and she hurt herself, and she clucked back.
What's up, Richie? Good to see you. Hope you and the fam are doing well. Hope the season's getting underway. I think the link's in the chat. Feel free to hop on if you got any free time. I'm sure you're busy with spring duties, but hope life's treating you well.
What's Don doing today? Shuffling kids around?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I was hoping he would just randomly pop on the last show, but he must be busy.
I think Fazoli's still sleeping. Taking a cat nap, probably.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep running them, especially if I'm up here in the room anyways, close to the computer. It's easy and just FCP is alive. You know?
I hope you do, man. I'll hop on every single time if I know it's up.
Hell yeah.
Every single time. Yeah, like I said, I didn't know y'all started one up last night.
Did we do one last night?
2 days off here, including today and tomorrow, and the next couple.
Yeah, we did a couple actually. Yeah, we did the data entry and then we did the hangout when you were like, let's kick it.
Well, you know.
Nice. I still find myself watching these after school specials. It's called After School on YouTube, where they do the like dry erase markers things on the, you know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
The recently one I watched is called The Bizarre Polarity of Plants and Evidence of Plant Intelligence by Rupert Sheldrake.
Love it.
Fascinating shit. Kids need to watch that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah, love it.
I mean, this are for 2 days. Waves aren't good enough. Yeah, Joe, why? I dig it. I think it's really cool. Really cool. My whole yard smells like perfume right now. We've got this tree that blooms this time of year. It's like a bush kind of, but it smells like perfume. It smells so aromatic and wonderful.
That's
Just
awesome.
strong smelling. But it must be toxic though. The chickens won't touch the flowers, the leaves, or nothing off of it. The cherry blossoms on the other hand, they'll eat every blossom that touches the ground. But this bush, the flowers fall, and they're even the same color. They even look similar, but they won't touch it. I forgot what it's called. I used to know what it's
What's
called.
going on, Richie? How's it going, brother?
Long time, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, another day in paradise. Life is good.
Nice. Caught me at a great time. I want to smoke a joint so I can roll one and hang out with y'all for a while.
Oh, right on.
Howdy, Richie. How you doing?
Hey, man. Nice to meet you.
Same. Nice to meet you. I've been talking into this microphone for an hour and a half, and I still ain't taking my bong hit. You're right on time. Literally been holding this packed bong for an hour and a half.
Like
Thinking
Priorities.
about maybe
when you got
smoking
the
one.
joint and you hold it like the microphone.
Yeah. Remember back in the day, like, don't fuck up the rotation? Quit microphoning that shit. Pass that thing around.
I was always the guy who fucking ADHD passed it the wrong direction by accident.
Yeah.
Not even thinking.
Or you give it to somebody that won't stop talking and won't hit it and stop talking long enough to keep the rotation going.
Yeah.
That'd be me.
How's life on the farm, Richie? I imagine the everything's pretty much melted out by now down there, huh?
Yeah, there's a couple of corners of the property that still got a little bit of snow on it, but we're pretty much out of it now. Yes, 2 days ago it was 30 degrees and now it's 60. It's March, like all over the fucking map. A lot of rain, a lot of wind. It's kind of a shitty month to be outside, that's for sure. But it's not, considering how much snow we had all winter, it melted fast and everything is super dry. So I don't think it was really that much, water when you really break it down. A few feet breaks down to, like a couple storms worth of rain, maybe a couple inches or so. So when it all melted, technically everything is still pretty friggin' dry around here.
Yeah, that's a trip too, because I was thinking the same thing. It seemed like so much snow, but usually there's still drifts in April up here, and it's almost all gone. I went and lit a little fire yesterday, just getting rid of some random sticks and bushes and stuff, and it started spreading around. I was like, I'm stomping this out. It was like,
yeah, we had fire warnings here yesterday because it was so dry, which
crazy.
is weird.
It reminded me of out west. You could see snow and moisture everywhere, but as soon as you touch flame to something, it was just.
Yeah. So, I mean, on one hand, it feels like it might be a decently paced spring as far as the dry up goes, as far as when I can work fields, that kind of thing. Every once in a while you get that very beginning April Fool's foot storm dumper. So we're not out of the woods yet as far as all of that goes. But I was it was dry enough 2 weeks earlier this year for me to take soil samples from the main production field. So that's kind of cool. Even if it rains all week, I can still kind of get the samples through the system, think about my amendments and let the field dry out and stuff like that. Leaves me a little leeway to not have my back up against the wall directly,
That's so cool. 2 weeks seems like a long time from the outside looking into. Like, that's a good chunk of the season, even if it's only, 4 or 5%. I feel like that's a good leg up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't plant any plants in the field till Jesus. Last year was June 11th, but I think I'm going to even go a hair later this season than that. So that gives me, a good window to dance around the weather, to disc the field, amend it, get everything set up with the beds and the drip irrigation, and just set it all up so the amendments can do their thing. The longer, if I can get the amendments in the ground for 2 weeks, 3 weeks before I get plants in, that's pretty ideal. Sometimes the weather forces me right up against the wall where we got to do it like immediately. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's to be determined this season as far as it goes around here for me still. But
there was a question in the chat. I'm not sure if you want to give a general geography or whatever. But
yeah, I'm at about 1,600 foot elevation in Western Massachusetts. um, little hill towns up here. And, I kind of am the director of cultivation of an outdoor sun-grown farm here in Massachusetts, where, it's a tough living to be a cannabis guy out here, especially a sun-grown guy in Massachusetts. It's not a popular place to be. But I also have a homestead nearby there where I do, regenerative farming, and we have tons of animals, and, I do the whole, I live the life here at the homestead, and work over there for the money and the chance to pheno hunt out and look at that many plants outside is unbelievable, man. 5,000 plants is an unbelievable number to just walk down the rows and make selections from. I'm finally in charge over there as far as director of cultivation goes. So
Nice.
I'm able to really steer genetics and get a lot of stuff going, make selections, back them up, all of that stuff I've started. Last year it was just proof of concept kind of thing. Let me show you our ways with the micro, everything that we've been kind of preaching as a group. I kind of brought to them and said, let's kind of maybe shift away from growing this field like horticultural practices and maybe shift towards some agricultural practices since you're farming a field. So yeah, it was just kind of shifting gears. And now I was able to really significantly increase the yield that they had dramatically and cut down a bunch of costs. So now that they trust me, I'm able to really start to lean into making selections for the field. I do some cloning of things that I know are really bulletproof out here, which are pretty rare. But so I'll do a portion of the field as clones over there, probably like a couple thousand clones out of the 5,000 plants. So I'll do 3,000 from seed and a couple thousand clones.
Man, that's so cool to hear.
Yeah, as I get going,
I love seeing the shots you get, the photos you get from the fields during the season. It's fucking so cool.
yeah, it's very fun. It's a lot of work, and not enough guys out there, and the story. It's farming, it's brutal, but like the opportunity for me to just kind of stare at so many plants and steer them and see how they are performing by variety, and it's really unbelievable. To find the breeders that have said they bred for resistance and they bred for uniformity, and to have the row from one end to the other genetics wise, right? Like, I won't throw all the people under the bus, but some people that are totally all about genetics, and this is great outdoor weed, and you throw it out there, and every single plant is different. Every single plant tests dramatically different. One will be just totally melted. The a couple will be nice and clean. And then you'll get to the other side of things where people say, this is going to perform great for you. And every single plant down the row, hundreds of plants, it's all pretty homogeneous, and they're all spotless, no leaf spotting, no, none of the things that I'm worried about, and barely need trellising, so there's so many levels to the amount. It's a whole different game when you're trying to fill a field with weed and not have it be, not touch it as least as possible, right? So like, you're looking for a specific type of plant that's not getting all leafy, that takes a crew of people to de-leaf it all season, or that's super floppy that it needs 6 trellises, or that it's, first I start with resistance to all the fucking shit that attacks us here.
Yeah. So
And once that is dialed in, then you can start figuring out on structure and what I want as a cultivator in the field, is not necessarily what the people want from the dispensary.
Yeah.
So it's all that dance, right? And it's fun. I enjoy it. I'm not at like a big ass MSO. It's just kind of a small family farm in Massachusetts, which is kind of weird, up against like just the craziest shit. Yeah. Horrible testing, horrible everything, really. So I kind of get to a point where the plant, I take care of these plants like you wouldn't believe until harvest. And then it's kind of like production crew and harvest crew can kind of take it from there. And I kind of like jump into the genetics part of it after that and jump back into what I collected or selected and try to steer it from that position and not get too down about where the market is in Massachusetts in particular. I'm always so proud of y'all up there in Maine doing it right and seeing my homies, Jeff and Liz from Art and Craft, and you guys just leading the way, man. It makes my heart very warm. And you know me, I'm that kind of guy. I used to drive up to Maine just to be part of anything for hours and hours, just to be part of something. So that it's so real up there, man. And I hope that you guys can fucking make your way through this daunting nightmare.
Yeah. That's so cool to hear that. In the same breath, you say how brutal it is, but also that you're making huge improvements, you know, whether it be getting the yield up or getting the amount of labor down and getting the plant's resilience and immunity up. So it's such a yin yang, you know, in the same breath, I hear the things and it's like, I really focused on the positive things. Of course, I'm an idealist like that. And it's so cool that you're able to show them the proof of concept, like you say, you know, and be able to, to me, that's the coolest thing too, is to be able to just practice on a larger scale. It's like, even if you're not paying me the world, like, you're going to let me do this. like that's awesome. You know, you'd be able to look at that many plants. That'd be so hard on your own. And man, that's really cool. But the yin and yang of it is crazy. It's brutal. You know, like you say, like I'm getting the visual of like the farm life from the way you put it. It's really cool.
The kind of attitude that I've been taking about it is like, okay, the rules, because Massachusetts set it up from the jump, right, are a certain way and they're extreme, right? So they don't lean towards anything good happening with sun ground. It's basically nothing's going to pass.
Yeah.
So if the way I see it is, if I get everything dialed in to where I'm like, you know, within acceptable boundaries for sun ground everywhere else in this field at the scale that it's at, and I just wait and dial in efficiencies and dial in all the things that I can and cut down all the costs that I can, that if in fact we do, you know, we get through to the uppers and they understand the microbial threshold situation and they lower it to a more reasonable, acceptable amount, then this farm could be really dialed in, you know what I mean, at that point. So that's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. Like, yeah, the system is kind of screwed, but it is giving me the opportunity to do a lot of cool things.
That's awesome forward thinking, you know. And if those things do meet up as you're getting more efficient and more dialed in and more quality, and as the regulations and the blockade comes down, once that intersects, yeah, you'll be ready to rock and roll. That's so cool. Love it.
Hey, it's a job, and it's a good job, right?
Yeah.
For guys like us, you know, I refused to be part of the industry the whole time in Massachusetts because I'm not going to sell my soul to a company that, you know, is a big MSO only designed for certain things, and the turn and burn with all their employees. And I'd have to drive hours to get to it, you know, all of these things. I was offered a couple positions throughout the years and I wouldn't take them. I suffered and freaking tried to raise pigs and all kinds of shit to pay my bills. And you know, I can homestead like the best of them and I try my hardest, but making my whole 100% living off of the farm is difficult. So I need that extra, you know, income and to secure everything that I want to have for the rest of my life. Being this homestead and other things. So I got to buckle down for a while. Why not do it and be able to select? And these selections are helping all the homies around me too, you know, because I find something that's resistant or something up somebody's alley. I got them, you know, so it's really cool to be able to be helping the community again, even though it's, you know, I'm torn in a lot of ways, but like, at the same time, I know that I'm doing a benefit to everything I touch is I have no problem with. Everything I do, I have no problem with. You know what I mean? So I'm cool. But yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, that's a huge win for the local crew. You know, when you find the genetics that work there, it's like that's valuable beyond money, you know, to like in a lot of directions, you know, and it could be valuable as money eventually too, which is cool. So yeah, those are huge
Yes.
W's. Get the chosen proper ones.
Yeah, dude.
I like
It's
that
so
you're
refreshing to
trellis.
hear that you select for resilience first and then chase the terps and everything else afterwards, because it seems like the most important part of the whole equation. If it won't survive, then you know,
With sun grown, you know, if you're outdoors, I really believe that that's pinnacle. Because you're
I
not
do
going to
too.
get anywhere without that, you know, unless you're like doing crazy shit, which I don't believe in. I'm not going to be blasting them with all kinds of shit all the time, all season. You know, I grow them in a really natural way. So it's they really couldn't believe that I wasn't spraying pesticides all over the field. I wasn't doing any of that shit, you know, like I was able to steer it with microbes and corn steep powder and shit, you know, like they're like, what the fuck are you ordering? Hey man.
I'm with it, man. I respect the hell out of that.
I love and hate that conversation when people don't believe that you don't use pesticides. I try to just never even talk about it. It's like, let's just
I
talk.
know.
There's something else to talk about. Let's just assume. Okay, assume I do. It's cool. You know, it's so funny.
Convincing the farm that though, you know, like it's one thing to another homie but it's another thing like when they're like, this is our farm that you're fucking with. I'm like, yeah, trust me, hold my joint, man. I got you.
A whole different thought when it's the farm that's not really buying it. Now that's the next level. What are you spraying?
Yeah.
Potato water.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some new chickens coming. Some new this crazy variety called the zombie chicken. Have you seen these? Bred out of the black copper, you know, the ones that are all black.
The Mayan Sermanis, or what do they call it?
Yeah, Mayan Sermon. Yeah, I can't pronounce them, but those
I can't either. So you got the copper Maran cross with the Sayani or whatever the fuck it is.
They produce this like black kind of, it's like the black underneath, but it's got this white frizzy stuff over the outside of it. It looks like a ghost. Wow. Crazy weird.
Do they
it's
have
called
black meat like the Samanis? I just found out the day before yesterday that the Samanis not only
is their comb all black meat.
Black, their meat is black too. I never knew that part about them.
Yeah, so it totally is. We yeah, that's one variety of chicken I've never had here.
That's cool. I've got whiting, true blues, and true greens, and black Australorps, and buff Orpingtons, and Barred Rocks, and Rhode Island Reds.
Hell yeah, Buff Orpingtons have been our staple here over
best
the
chicken
years.
On the planet.
They're the best chicken there is. The best temperament, great layers,
like puppy dogs,
sturdy. They're the only chickens that naturally had their own chicks here. Just figured it out and got away with it. You know, like hid out, and it's another.
So my Buff Orpingtons. Well, sorry, let me cut you off.
No, it's
my
all
Buff
good.
Orpingtons did the same thing. They taught the Buff Orpingtons and the black Australorps, are basically the same bird, different color, but they taught the rest of the birds how to go broody and how to raise chickens. But you don't need an incubator if you got Buff Orpingtons. They'll hatch them and take care of them.
It's amazing. It's a whole better system, if you ask me. I mean, it's one thing to incubate them all yourself. It's a fun thing, but like to watch the mom teach and to keep everybody away from them, it's just so much more. They just fit in perfectly, you know.
There's no comparison to the birds you end up with either from an incubator versus a mother-born hen. That then your chicks grow up knowing how to sit eggs and know how to do all that stuff. Yeah, there's no comparison. They're healthier too. The ones that survive outside, they're healthier chicks than the ones that come out of the incubator.
Yeah, 100%. We just put ours on we built a chicken tractor that goes on a small landscape trailer. And that's just kind of, we rip that around now. So there's not, that's a 4-season chicken tractor now. I don't ever have to like keep them in one permanent spot. In the winter, they kind of move a lot slower, that's for sure. But It's pretty cool. I like it. Finally, we've tried a few different versions of it over the years, and finally we kind of got a nice one. It's easy to the four-wheeler. I can just pull up to it and move it anywhere I want. Pretty slick.
The always something to do. Buff Orpington is the one that we're talking about. Buff is the color, but Orpington is the Buff Orpington.
Yeah,
It's a good chicken if you want both eggs and meat birds because they're big enough to be meat birds, but they lay well enough to, they lay 300 eggs a year.
Yeah.
Each. Sometimes more.
There was another, what was it? It was like a gray colored lavender Orpingtons we grew. Do you ever have those?
I've never had lavender Orpingtons, but they're beautiful too. I love
beautiful.
The buffs and the black Australorps. They're like, if I could only have a couple chickens, those would be what I would have.
Yeah, I would definitely choose the buffs as well.
Yeah, I would.
Because of exactly what you said, they're the almost a perfect multi-use bird.
And like I would say that the only drawback I would say to those would be that, which is also the same thing as a benefit. I hate flighty chickens that get skittish every time you walk in the yard, and they're not that way. But the flighty ones seem to be the ones that survive attacks. So there's a catch-22 there with that. Like the Buff Orpingtons are sitting ducks until they get educated. Once the flock's educated after a couple years, then it's different. But
it's all about having them in places that have a little bit of protection built in as well for them. They learn how to use it. They learn how to use it,
Yes, 100%, man. And if you got roosters that actually attack hawks instead of run from the hawks first, then you're in that's another step up.
What are y'all smoking on today?
Well, right now, I'm talking into the microphone.
Hala's not smoking today. Is that
the answer?
Shut the fuck up.
Is really
I'm smoking some shut the fuck up.
I'm smoking on Northern Lights by Hayes Croft.
Oh shit!
Nice.
All right.
Bammer.
I'm smoking one of my probably my favorite cross I made of last year. Came out really well. It's F3. I named it Disco Stew after the Simpsons character.
Why would you do that? Disco Stew doesn't advertise.
That's right. But it's hey, what's up, Tony? It's meat breath times garlic hot times glazed cherries, and it comes out like this really savory. I can't explain it. Very well complicated terps, meaty, a little not really sweet, but not fruit. Almost a little cammy, just really dank shit. And finally, this generation, a lot of them are all very, very, very uniform. I think I'm gonna make a real selection out of it this season, out of some numbers, and then select that one and maybe reverse it because I just want to see what it does. But yeah, that's what I'm really pumped on the last little bit here. Disco Stew.
I'm still tripping on your Simpsons reference names. When I heard pocket mulch, I just started laughing. I was like, I know that there's no other way that could be anything but the jail cell conversation of the freedom fighter.
Hell yeah.
Fucking, I love it. That's fucking so cool.
Look at this guy you let sneak in down there on the bottom corner. Who's that?
Me.
He only got one hat on. I thought it was Tony, but he's only got one hat on.
Hold on now.
Whoop. There he is.
Don't make me start layering up there, baby.
That's knuckle sandwich.
I hadn't heard nothing you need your filter for
Knuckle
yet.
sandwich.
Give it time.
Do you even pocket mulch?
That was the greatest, right? I'm a level 9 vegan. I don't eat anything that casts a shadow. They had some jokes ahead of their time, man.
That's amazing, actually.
We're not really looking for anyone, but there are some entry level poser positions if you'd like. Oh my lord! Hit him with the old bagzooka. Gotta love what you do, Chief. That's one of my favorites. It shows how we're all the same, even if it's sick different versions. You know, you gotta love what you do, Chief. Just shooting hippies.
So good.
Shooting hippies.
Oh my lord!
It must be spring. The garlic just broke ground. I checked it yesterday.
Oh,
Fucking
cool.
yeah.
Badass.
I planted way more than I should have. I thought I had somebody I was going to sell it all to, but that didn't work out. So now I got a giant amount of garlic.
How does it hold, like shelf life? I feel like that's a good one.
It holds real good,
Yeah.
but you know, it's not something I want to stash that much of.
You want to hold tons of, yeah.
It's a cool one because everything you plant, it's one of those ones that you plant one clove, it makes a whole head every year, you know, so you can expand your stash, grow enough to plant and eat, no problem.
Too cool.
Does garlic companion plant with cannabis well?
I've never really.
I think Helpful Harry's told me that. I believe so. That it's peas and carrots. I think they go very well together. From what
It's in OHN, so I'm thinking maybe it would help with pathogens or whatnot in living soil.
Yeah.
I'm not the
I
best.
personally have never grown it in my cannabis beds. I do a lot of planting of all kinds of shit in my cannabis beds for sure. But my garlic, I've always just done as its own little bed. I put it in, I put it to bed, I cover it with the mulch, and then I just kind of harvest it in July. And I don't know if I want to be, you know, you could like plant it here and there, a couple of them, and that's a great idea. Maybe that's what I'll try, you know, instead of a whole pile of it, just one every so often.
Well,
as part of the companions.
Think about like potatoes or other stuff that loosens the soil. Like I was just thinking, because I know that cannabis does well with potatoes, or at least some of it does.
I've done that a bunch.
It worked by accident. I learned that last year. The plants that were near the potatoes that came up went nuts.
Mostly I plant a lot of like really stinky shit, like anise, hyssop, and tulsi, like holy basil, and a lot of shit like that. Lemongrasses and
that's good. And I'm definitely on the right track. I used to put lemongrass and basil in there.
Yep.
Rotten, do you recall? Oh, hey, Green Man. How you doing?
What's up, Green Man?
I'm having a problem with my audio, man. I'm going to jump out and jump back in.
Tony, do you remember what it was Harry Rose was telling Rotten and I? It starts with a C. It was coriander and something. Two herbs to plant that were anti-pest.
I don't remember.
Rotten will remember. It was coriander and cilantro, I think, maybe.
It might be cilantro.
Maybe it's cilantro.
I plant that shit. Yeah, we got that everywhere.
But I love the idea of having stuff I like to cook with, sitting there keeping pests off my plants.
Yeah. Yep. I just like the idea of all kinds of stuff together at all times. You know, you have all the same thing growing anywhere. It doesn't feel as natural, right?
I 100% agree with that.
Damn, this got me ripped.
That's what coriander. Okay, so it's not. That's what. It's something else then. Yeah, well, I'll wait for Travis. Travis will remember.
I may be stoned, but isn't coriander seeds from cilantro?
Yes, I'm definitely stoned because I'm the one that suggested planting both. I don't believe it was Shives who filmed me though.
One of the coolest additions I've found recently was nice. Sporadically planting those tobacco plants, man. They are beautiful.
Did you get those from Peter?
Some of them, yeah.
I got the Glessner.
I got this one that's from locally right around here called the Pioneer Valley, which is pretty much like right here in tobacco country. It used to be a lot of tobacco growing here. Something's echoing horrible.
Yeah, we're gonna wait till Travis gets back in here and fixes that.
What's up, buddy? I haven't seen you since right after the soil last summer.
It's been a long time. It's good to see you, man. Good to see you well. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really was. I'm hoping we can pull another one off sometime soon. Your farm's looking fantastic, bro. So this right here, since I got Tony right here, check it out. This is totally ghosted. Look how it acts in my soil. This is how it acts just like this last year. And all the other plants, you know, doing this really super green thing. But these guys do this, and they give me the best cannabis in the whole garden. It's crazy. I'm going to grow like 8 of these plants this year. Just got to keep watching, man. I gotta just keep up potting them, and then put them in the soil, and they turn into awesome plants. They just don't like being in little pots. They get in the soil, they just
I'm hearing all kind of shit.
Yeah, hold on, it's my dog.
Probably both of our dogs.
Making me check my dog.
My roosters definitely ain't helping anything. Fucking having at it.
I'm used to that noise.
To me, I love the noise. Some people don't, but to me, I can sit out here and listen. I love it.
City folks seem to be bothered by it. The way that I'm bothered by the constant traffic when I go down into the city.
Well, I'm pretty well hated here in the city with them. You can believe that.
I used to be the guy in the city limits with the roosters.
I'm that guy.
Yeah, good for you. I was him.
That guy.
You got to go through it once.
You got to fight with the inspectors for a couple of years, or you haven't lived. Can't make more chickens without roosters, so I ain't getting rid of my rooster.
Yeah, the good ones are priceless.
The other 8, I guess that'd be reasonable. But
yeah, sometimes it takes 8 roosters to find a good one.
It takes more than that, but you're right. You're 100% right. It takes more than 8 plants to find a good one if you're running through seeds too. Sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like the fact that you can look at 5,000 plants in a year. That's more plants than most people will look at in their whole lifetime. Even if they, You get so much experience from being able to do that.
Dude, it's
amazing.
it's amazing. And every time you walk it, it's like, wow, really? It's hard to even. It took me a season to understand how to even grasp taking notes on it. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to observe that many. You can't like do a nose test on even like a whole row, right? Without blasting your face off.
Yeah, that's not even reasonable.
So, I don't know. It's
I
yeah.
mean,
It's
like, I don't know anything about it, but I selected for the ones that came up voluntarily and vigor initially, and then kind of sorted through those. And
nice.
just because that's how you learn to keep seed for anything like tomatoes or whatever else. Just that's the reason. But I learned so much that I thought I knew about before that I did not know. I was certain I did, but I didn't. I was wrong. That you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny.
It happens to me a lot.
Yeah, it's a good thing I think, but it'll humble you sometimes.
It's us. It's the folks who are open to taking that message and not getting offended or whatever with yourself, or the message that it's coming from somebody else, and being able to kind of just see if you can move forward and fix that, right?
It's a struggle. I'm with it. I think I heard. Yeah,
It's not easy.
no. The deer bother your outdoor?
Uh,
Or are they selective as well? Do they make selections on their own which ones they eat?
They do. If it's certain times of the year, if you plant it in the wrong places, they'll probably munch it down. My main nemesis are voles when they're small, up to like foot tall plants, up to like a half-inch stem, and the voles will just girdle them really quickly and they kill them. And then come some rabbits, and there's as far as eating plants, I'm not getting a ton of pressure except when they're young and vulnerable. I do use fencing a little bit, electric netting fencing around here and stuff, so they kind of have their channel that they go around all my shit that they already know about, with all the animals and stuff. So I don't know, maybe that helps. Sometimes for years I was raising pigs, and they really kept away all the coyotes. They kept away a lot of shit. So I'm not really.
The pigs kept the coyotes away, huh? The boar?
Oh yeah, dude. They were like really good. I was not worried about predators for a long time. We used to watch the tracks, right? You could like, I'd have, and after a snowstorm, you'd watch the coyotes come in, and then they just boom, hard right away from the pigs, and they'd flank all the way around it every time. So like, the more I spread them around here, the more that I wasn't worried about the predators as much. But as far as animals eating weed plants, yeah, mostly when they're small, and mostly those fucking voles and rabbits and shit like that. Deer aren't as populated here as in like the eastern part of the state, or as you start going down south towards Pennsylvania and stuff. They get out of hand and they're eating your shrubbery and shit. But like up here, there's so much wooded terrain everywhere, separating them all, that there's not a huge population. I'm sure it's healthy, but it's not like you see tons of deer everywhere.
They were a problem back in the day for us here, planting in hedgerows and stuff, or in the corners and fields. They liked it.
I used to have a lot more of a problem with it way back in the day when I was growing in swamps and places where the deer are going to be more likely and people aren't. But now that things have changed, I don't have as much problem.
But more, what I was curious about is that, do you know if they don't bite it? Of course, this doesn't even apply. But I was wondering if the deer would have a preference or not, because I like some they would walk through cantaloupe fields or pumpkin fields and take a bite out of every single one until they get to one that's ripe and then eat it. And if they would just eat the ripe ones, you'd be fine. They wouldn't be a bother. But every fucking cantaloupe would have a bite, that kind of thing. I wondered if they would taste stuff and have a taste preference that correlated with yours or not. And just high.
They walk right past the weed plants almost every time, and they'll go right for topping soybean plants, or they'll go right for topping a lot of other plants. They prefer a lot of other plants, to
They
be
love
honest.
soybeans. I know that. They love fucking
They'll
corn.
just
They
freaking
love
sunflowers. They'll eat all your sunflowers real quick. They'll eat. They cruise by and they'll eat whatever's available to them for sure. But as far as them targeting weed, they don't really love it. Goats though, fuck, goats love that shit. So watch out. My goats, every time I harvest males or whatever, they just go nuts for plants. So I'm always, or anytime I'm de-leafing, defoliating the
I've been
veg
thinking about
garden.
getting a goat. I'm definitely not getting a goat. Fuck.
Goats are pretty, yeah, they're crazy.
It's funny.
What's up, Burns?
Burnsy, what's up, dude?
What's happening?
Good to see you, man.
You too, bro. How you doing?
Good. Long time no see. I think the last time I saw you was at my place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Getting ready for the season, I'm sure.
Yeah, dude.
Find me a bong.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole thing. I didn't think about that, man. It's the fact that we used to have to hide it in fucking the nether regions, and that's why I would always get it eaten by all kinds of animals and
That's
shit.
what
It's
I would try to put it in hedgerows where people didn't walk.
definitely pricker patches and shit.
Yeah, inside of briar patches and on top. Yeah, but it would always get it would often get eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, often. But we weren't doing IPM or anything like that. What the IPM we were doing was not healthy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. We would not do any IPM at all. We didn't even fucking consider that at the time.
No,
Our whole method was you bought a bale of Pro Mix, and then we had those huge army backpacks, and we would fill that up, one giant backpack of compost that we had, and one bale, and we had this younger kid that we would kind of pay with a couple nugs to, and he would literally haul a bunch of shit out to these random swamps that we would go scout out in the wintertime when you could actually kind of get in there. The thickets are all kind of easier to maintain. The ice is there so you can walk across these swamps. So we would look at the topo maps, find these real hidden beaver swamps that were just totally hard to get to, and we'd walk out there with one of these bales and one of these things. I'd take half the bale of Pro Mix out, fill it with the compost, add in at the time it was probably bat guano or whatever we had, add in a couple things to it and try to place it close to the swamp where you would wick from the bottom. And we would set those up and kind of camo up them and set them and forget them basically, and kind of come back, plant like 2 or 3 plants in each one of those baked potato style bed things. And then, half of them would be eaten. The other half would be, we'd always end up with a couple plants out of all that effort, like not many plants. And it was a huge success for us. We were so proud.
Right? I was going to say, all you wanted was just one to make it.
Yeah, dude.
I think the norm was for something to happen to them all the time for the longest time.
Yeah. I can remember riding mountain bikes around and trying to be all stealth. It That was a lot. So much effort went into it.
A lot of effort.
Oh, how things have changed.
It is really wild. The stuff, how easy everything's, how readily available all these different options are. Seems like the hardest thing is to decide what to do now. So many different ways and so many different opinions. A lot of them are right.
My dog's normally harassing me to eat, but she's just sitting there. I don't know what's going on.
That's car. Can't be
Nice.
smoking a one-hitter quitter in the daytime.
I just picked up that jar and went, nope. And I put it back down.
Every time I go to roll a joint, the first bag I grab is one-hitter quitter. I'm like, nah, bro. Don't fuck with that.
I'm gonna be into some trouble because I only smoke it at night and I've only got these two little bits. And so I'm like smoking through them. And I'm gonna end up at a point where all I have is the one-hitter quitter. I have a feeling I'm gonna be taking a lot of weed.
Dude, it makes me
For like 2 days though. You know how I smoke. I'll blow through that in a day or two. Like it's bad. Otherwise I go crazy.
I just started flowering some cuts that I just got. First time I'm doing an indoor run in a little while. I really want to see all these cuts. I got let's see what's in there. Lemon tree, strawberry cough, green crack. What else is in there? SFV buns times honey buns. Some double OG chem. What else is in there? Some other shit that I haven't run in a while. I've never run the lemon tree.
It's supposed to be nice.
Yeah, I'm excited to flower it out. It looks pretty cool. The one that looks really cool is the green crack. It's not what I expected it to look like. It looks like an Afghani, like kind of old school.
Should have like the green crack I know had small leaflets, light green, serrated, more thin leaf than wide leaf.
Huh. This is an interesting plant then. I don't know what it is.
There's been about 20 different companies that have made S1s on green crack. So what's
Yeah.
out there could be anything. I haven't ran green crack in about 20 years, almost 15 years at least.
Okay. Good to know, man.
It was created in the late 80s by Cecil C.
Yeah. And it's
I've
like
seen two different ones from seed that were passed around in the early days. There was a purple one and a green one. The purple one was fucking far and above better than the green one, but nobody wanted to grow it because they didn't think it was green crack because it was purple.
And what's the lineage, the actual lineage?
It's supposed to be a skunk one crossed to a known Afghani.
Unknown Afghani, right? Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Super Sativa Seed Company, skunk one.
Yep. That's why I was surprised by the way this plant looks. I don't know.
The smoke is you can taste that fucking weed 100%. It's one of those strains that is unmistakable.
Very unique. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
My buddy Lucas that owns Eclectic Elegance seed company, he had been carrying a clone around for a while. They didn't know what it was, him and his father. They called it Dad's Cut because that's just his dad had found it.
Yeah.
He sent me, Levi from Pistol Positive Seeds, and Scott from Rare Dankness Seeds samples of it. As soon as we all opened it, green crack, we all knew exactly what it was. It's so distinct. It's like it's a funky mothball smell that's on that thing.
Damn, cool. That's good to know. Good reference.
She finishes fast.
That's what they say, right?
56 days easy, 56,
Yeah.
60 on the
But
far.
it still has the uplifting effects.
Yeah, if you like that high, it's nice like that. It's not any kind of weed like we were just talking about. My one hitter quitter puts you to sleep. That stuff will not do that.
No. Yeah, generally I'm not that guy. I don't blend too well with the super uplift, the stuff that gets you heart pounding kind of stuff. I'm not so down.
No,
with
it's
these
not
days.
like that kind of high at all. I
Yeah,
find it more of a like a energetic and like happy kind of high to make you feel good, fucking make you want to smile, that kind of shit.
Yeah, there's the very difference in vast differences in all of those effects, man. That one that I really loved that I remember, I guess it's been a couple years now, but when FCP got together in Connecticut, I went there for that little meetup, and Boston Bob was there, and he smoked a little bit of that, or I smoked some of his Hawaiian Federation sativa, and wow, the effects of that were all the things I love about those types of effects, and none of the things that I can't handle, whereas like the Nigerian haze that I smoked fairly recently sent me like running in a paranoid panic. Like literally.
I hear you.
It's all about the cannabinoid profiles you're used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if your body's not used to certain profiles, they can be profoundly powerful.
Oh yeah. Extremely.
Generally, I'm a heavy kind of guy. Maybe not quite the level of stuff like you're saying, like the one hitter quitter. There's some stuff that is just like an instant knockout no matter what time of day.
Yeah. That's how that herb is for me, the one hitter quitter. It just puts me to sleep as soon as I smoke it. I'm fighting, every part of my body shuts down. My mind, my nerving, like everything just wants to stop. So the best thing for me to do is just to climb into bed usually.
That's a powerful thing to use in your arsenal of fucking, things that you can use to help out when you're feeling a certain way. You want to be
Oh yeah,
sleepy.
it's killer
Bam.
for healing. People need
Yep.
to sleep and heal, and they're having a hard time resting. That shit
Yeah.
will put you to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Right
The
on.
best time when you're sleeping is you don't feel pain, and because your system's down, you usually will heal much better sleeping. But you won't get shit done. Trust me. That's the part I don't like. That's why I won't smoke it in the daytime, because it takes all my get up and go away from me. I won't do nothing. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Gotta stay moving.
Todd, the one hitter quitter that I keep tastes like propellant, propane, like skunk. I hate to say it, but I hate to say it.
It's got duck foot leaves on it. Tell the truth.
It'll get you kicked out your house. She's thinking.
Man.
Just sent some of the one hitter kitters into to Peter. There's a few packs of it in there. Some of the regulars.
Nice.
Did not send any FIMs in this time. Not of the one hitter.
Every season I pull out a few of your packs and I say I'm gonna run them outside, and for some reason, well, one time I popped the what was it? Redwood Kush F4 maybe, or something like that. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, those are old ones.
Yeah, I popped those, but that was one of those bowl situations I was talking about, dude.
Yeah.
Damn things.
Yeah. I pulled some out this year. I can't remember which ones I pulled out that I want to try.
They should do well outdoors. Todd Wilson, there's a write-up on Skunk Magazine's website of my one hitter quitter.
Oh yeah.
Check it out.
Will do. Man.
Me too. Moth flakes are poison, and what is that? What?
Most of the bees made it through this ridiculous winter, man.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Bees don't like winter. But we've had good luck the last 3 seasons, and this one was a lot. I had to go out there and shovel them out, give them some air kind of thing.
Yeah.
But got all 9 hives made it through.
Fucking cool.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted to fucking try hives and shit. Dude, where my town I live in that's what we're famous for. We're the largest bee producing area.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. There's a huge bee ranch here. Every year we have the honeybee festival. It's been going on for like 40 years here, I think.
Damn. It's funny how y'all have like regions like that, like driving through Gilroy.
Yeah.
All you smell is freaking garlic for like 30 miles.
Yep. Yep. They fucking go to their shit. Garlic everything. Garlic ice cream, garlic smoothies, garlic fucking anything.
I remember smelling it before we got to town.
Yep.
Yo, garlic. No, dude, garlic ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have Gilroy has a garlic
No.
festival every year, dude, and it's nothing there that ain't garlic, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's terrible.
Crazy.
It's actually not the worst. I had it. But I'm a freak.
I don't know if I could hang. I don't know.
I don't like garlic that much.
You like
It's
garlic?
still sweet ice cream, you know. It's kind of like it's not like you think it would be.
Yeah, if you roast the right kind of garlic, it turns sweet.
That's
Yeah,
not
when you
dry.
use like the right mild kind, and you're already using tons of sugar and like a kind of like ice cream, then you know they make it so it's actually even the kids are eating it.
Yep.
The cat grabbed one of the cactus.
The whole thing was out of there.
Mhm.
She's the only one brazen enough to do it.
You gotta be careful. You be tripping balls.
I need more.
The garlic ice cream's free too. You don't got to pay for it. It's free.
That's how they get you, yeah.
See, got my wife. I might
We
try
have a
it.
couple festivals like that here where they do the same thing. I can go and sometimes you get new varieties, you know, like you go to these places and you think garlic's garlic, but they'll be just like we are with our shit, man. These garlic guys will have 17 varieties of garlic, all different kinds, all different, you know, like different temperaments, and you know they all do their own thing with mild to super spicy and clove size and all different kinds of nuances.
They call our town the queen bee capital of the world.
Damn, that's a good one.
We produce roughly 160 to 270,000 queen bees annually.
For like farming them. Yeah.
Yeah, we farm them out like all the almond farmers and shit in California use bees from
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, I've seen that.
walnut,
Yeah, they drive
yeah.
truckloads of hives everywhere.
They drive hives fucking everywhere. That's what's up. This guy's spot that's maybe 6 miles from my house. Fucking that dude's got property. When his hives are there, it's crazy how many hives that guy has, and he's just
Yeah.
always shipping fucking hives out. Always.
I think my guy Tyson has some guy bring his hives in every so often, pollinate his orchards. It was a weird thing here, man. Like we brought him in and we started getting pumped and we kept expanding and expanding. And at some point I started to worry about like, are these bees that I'm like growing and they're not necessarily natives. Are they out competing the natives that I'm trying to grow a healthy amount of right here, right? And like I noticed it because in the spring they woke up slightly before all the native insects do, and they just start scourging like every inch of the property everywhere, looking for anything to eat or drink because they're like, you know, they just made it through the winter.
Yep.
And like, so they kind of tap into a lot of the resources here before the other natural ones, which I want to have a diverse population of, because when I look around, like they do at least as much pollination or more than the bees are doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like in circumstances where there's giant crops where they're spraying chemicals or something to keep down the things, it makes a lot of sense to add all these bees. But in my mind, what I've seen here is, you know, what I've learned is we planted like the earliest possible flowering things that we could here to get it going, like early crocuses and stuff like that. So there's going to be like immediate flowers that they can tap into. And just, you know, I don't want to have more bees than I can kind of create pollen for all the things around me in balance. So that's kind of the goal I realized, just like, you know, everything else, keep it in balance.
Because you can't control what somebody's spraying on their fucking field somewhere else. That can like my neighbor, that dude likes spraying Avid on his grapes. And
Yeah.
then my county, if it goes over, I think it's 90 or 95 degrees, you can't spray it. He'll be out there spraying all the time in the summertime. And there's not a day in the summer that's under 95 degrees here. He's had the county come out multiple times fucking telling him, you can't fucking do that shit, dude. It evaporates into the air and just travels to everyone. It's not going on your fucking plants. Like, he doesn't understand what he's doing. And like that bee place being that close, guaranteed his bees are coming over here to try to get pollen off his grapes when they go into flower. Like, and he's out there spraying them. And that's one of the worst things you could be spraying for bees.
Yeah.
It sucks. And it's getting worse because they're trying to bring grape production into where I'm at in this area. Even though it's not a very great area for it, we're way too low, not enough humidity. But they're trying to force some kind of grape growing in here now for wine production.
Yeah, that's the battle, you know. Once it starts, there's two sides to it, and everybody's stuck in their ways. So it's going to be hard to convince half the people to join forces with the other half and to do it for the good of the bees.
But since we're known for bee production here, somebody should think about that before allowing a heavy pesticide industry into the same vicinity. Like, one of them's going to start to fail because of the other one. If you put too many of the wine vineyards in this area, it's not a smart thing to do with bee production being here for so damn long.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Since this is the hub of the bees, like, it's not like it's just one hive that might get wiped out. This guy could lose all his bees just from one of his hives traveling over here and going back, and the rest of them learning where this is at and then traveling over here and coming to feed.
Yeah, I could see that. We're in such a microclimate around here where there's not a ton of farmland where it is. It's along the Connecticut River Valley, the river valley, but there's a lot of these little hill towns with not much going on where I'm at. So it's like these little microclimates everywhere. It's not necessarily big farm anything. It used to be a lot of dairy farms, but they were all kind of went under. Not much happening out here anymore. Used to be sawmills; those are gone.
Yep. They all closed down. Same here, because we used to have logging, and then they found the spotted owl up in Humboldt, and that shut down so much logging, and sawmills disappeared, everything.
Yeah.
Used to see fucking trucks full of logs coming out of there, man. I can't remember the last time I seen a truck filled with logs. Really, I can't even remember that. It's been a long time seeing multiple trucks driving down the highway packed full of fucking logs. Just the industry that's gone on a large scale. And them cats have been doing that for generations.
Yeah, I know this dude. Around here. He's older generation than me, and he grew up in the logging. He became what was a super skilled thing called a lumber grader, and he would be the guy who could kind of map out how much boards and what kind of boards would come out of each kind of thing. And they were highly coveted positions kind of thing, right? Because that was how to make the most money out of your lumber and all of that. And it was a skill that took a long time. And these guys, who had it had job security because that's what they did, right? They were really good at it. And they knew they didn't have to worry. And all of a sudden, not only was lumber mills going under, but then the only ones that were existing were buying laser lumber mills that eliminated his position completely and did it more efficiently.
Yep.
So, there's all these dudes who had really stuff that took a lot of skill to do, and they were just gone immediately.
Yep.
You got to feel for some of those dudes, even though, we were cutting down a lot of trees and there's that whole side of it. But
Yep. The both sides, but still, someone that's knowledgeable, like that amount of knowledge that just goes away is terrible. It sucks.
Walk through the woods and tell you exactly what's up with your trees. You know what I mean? Like that guy knew a lot.
It's invaluable knowledge to get, and it takes years to learn that. Just years of being out in the forest to know what's
He got
going
all
on.
depressed. You know, he's like 90 now. He's still kicking, but he's kind of bummed about all the status quo.
Chop her down, Eric.
All right. I told myself I had enough time to stop in for a joint. I think I smoked at least 2.
I know I got one in.
Yeah, it's good to check in. I have been trying to stick to the day to day, trying to stay grounded these days, and I haven't really been on IG. I was on like a daily poster on IG for years, you know, and I don't know, something about it just burnt out and I stopped paying attention. And similar with my YouTube time, but it's really nice to check in and see everybody, that's for sure.
It's good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I gotta run, but I will
Great meeting you, Richie. Take care.
back at you, brother. Yep, we'll
Good talk.
talk soon. All right, peace.
Have a good one, man.
Sorry about that.
Making all kinds of noise.
My bad.
Mhm.
I need help.
Richie is the man.
What time it is?
Out of my kitchen.
His yearly January is like a highlight of my year. Straight up. I'm not. That shit was so awesome. Every time. Dope.
Yeah, Sticky Richie's a good guy.
Yeah.
It's got some killer seeds too, y'all. You heard?
Sound like that chicken just caught the toad.
Right?
I'm getting 9,000.
Oh damn! I just unmuted it to do all that in y'all's ears. I thought I muted it to do that. My bad.
Learn to spell, dummy. There we go. Like a dirty hippie. Incense and be on what planet is it? Jack's hammer. Ripple Sand Pebble, the ghost of the Sand Pebble. It'd be making sips out of anything that fucking can hold soil, dude.
Bro, I tried 5 gallons in 5 gallons for so fucking long, man. Like, I can't. So bad, dude. So many different ways, too. I tried so many different fucking ways to make sip pots.
Yeah.
And now I'm running one again, which is kind of funny. It's an actual, like, you know, somebody else built it, not the custom shit I made.
Rusty, it just depends on selection, man. I found from bubble gum all the way up to fucking GMO in it. The homie that grew her out the first time, one of the people, he found one he called, smelled like said it smelled like a dirty hippie girl. Incense and flowers and body odor. But shape difference, you're getting space cheese, GMO, and then the hybrid in between, probably in the structures. Space cheese is going to be a shorter, wider, column-shaped flower. GMO is going to be, well, GMO, it grows like golf balls that stack together. See if I can find the fucking pictures. Government cheese. Cheese, government cheese.
And on the bed.
Sweet Elmer's glue. That sounds kind of fire in weed terms. And as a preschooler.
Baby Schmo.
Aced. Eating it by him.
If you didn't eat paste, are you really a stoner?
If you didn't eat paste as a kid, are you really even cool?
Paste is what started all of us, dude.
That's what we
Before
all
you
ate
had
paste.
mushrooms, before you smoked cannabis, before
We're
you
on
hit
the
that
paste.
cocoa,
Paste is the gateway drug.
Paste
paste
is
was
the
the
gateway.
gateway,
We
son.
figured it out.
There was
What it
only
was.
4 or 5 kids in there that was dedicated to paste life, Jack. And fucking,
Yeah, we gotta get a
they'd be
t-shirt.
putting it on their hands and shit, sniffing it, whatever they could do to get it close to the nose. It was the
Gotta make
same
a
kid
t-shirt. We're
Bunch
sitting
of
there
glue
eating
snake
paste.
gobblers.
Think about it, y'all. How many of y'all that smoke weed today started with paste?
I don't think I ever ate paste.
I ate paste.
Sniffing it, eating it,
I don't think I ever
up
ate
your
paste.
fingers and shit.
I ate paste.
Come on. Burns is the outlier.
Yeah.
No.
Did Rod
Maybe it's me.
eat paste?
I may have. I don't know. I don't think so.
Paste. Is he frozen or is
He's acting like he's frozen, so he ain't got to tell the truth.
so that's
He's had more paste than all 3 of us put together. Eating paste leads to smoking piff.
paste? Yeah, they laughed. A lot of them, if they hear piff and pasties, they're turning their head to look.
If you didn't sniff paste, you definitely were sniffing the permanent markers.
Now, see, by the time I was trying to like abuse random shit, I had the internet, right? So it went more for like, you know, whippets, like nitrous cans, like, you know, like little nitrous cans or, you know, fucking whipped cream.
For whipped cream?
Yep. And then like, you know,
I never did
random
that.
also Dramamines. You guys ever eaten a fucking, like a literally, you know, the Dramamine little vials you motion sickness? You eat a whole vial of them things, it fucks up your equilibrium so bad that you start tripping balls.
Wait,
Not
what?
good.
You ate the whole pack of Dramamine?
Don't condone this.
Don't do that when he
The seasick pill?
Yeah, it's bad. It is not a good trip. It's like a dude. It's like always like the darkest, craziest shit. It's fucked up.
No, I learned my lesson after paste.
Listen, I said I was a dumb kid, but I had the internet.
Stuff after the paste.
Burns got the internet. What do you type in to learn that shit?
Oh, man,
Asking for a friend.
see, I spent a lot of time on like early forum days. You know, like even like all the weed forums and shit. When I was a kid and I couldn't like grow, I was on there just reading everything I could. You know, and fucking like.
Well, before the internet, all we had was paste, man. So
yeah,
yeah, no. I had the combined knowledge of every degenerate kid around me, you know, so, and adults.
Well, you got to thank the paste eaters who started that forum, brother.
I shouldn't thank any of them. I probably have like half as many brain cells as I did. You
know?
Yeah. You can ask AI what's going on right now. They'll say a bunch of pasty dudes talking about paste.
If it came even close to what we were talking about, I'd be impressed.
Hey, I can't learn this shit.
Who's Elmer's, it would say. Elmer's was the first pusher, man. Elmer's glue for me and you. You know. Paste heads unite.
I mean, maybe we were just smarter. Because we could read on the package, safe to eat. Child safe. What was safe to eat? Let's try it.
Non-toxic. It says right here, man.
Non-toxic, can't hurt you. Yum.
The paste is healthier than the stuff you're feeding us in the cafeteria, miss. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Rusty. That's
Yeah. That's how all artists started, dude. They was in arts and crafts, smoking and sniffing paste, bro. Before you knew how to draw an eyeball and a finger, you knew how to sniff paste.
I still can't draw a finger. I'm trying to figure out how to do the knuckles.
That was awesome. I gotta send Tia's beanie out today. I'm gonna put some gas in his life so he can grow some fire. Some more fire. When AI can do hands and feet, I start to worry. Why can't it do hands and feet right? That's what I want to know. It can fuck around with all the other shit, but hands and feet. Maybe pipe some wood shop. Six finger picks. Hands. That was a big app. Holy manoli. So, Rusty, you're saying don't fuck with AI while you're on mushrooms or acid? Or start fucking with your own brain? Fucking Eric got that plant stacking. Some more freebies to send to Peter, y'all. Finally got my fucking coin envelopes to put them in. I don't got these little plastic mother truckers. I'm pretty sure they better be at least self-adhesive. Yes, no more licking shit. Don't want to fucking go out like George Costanza's fiance. How many is in here? It's 200. How many are in there, dude? Should be 33. Okay. That makes 30. $16. That makes 31. It's 30. 30 and 30, sucker. Ditched RO. Reversed osmosis. What's it? You know what you say? Ow. What in the world? You heard me? Strip it bare so you can add your own BPMs. No wastewater. Active charcoal's enough. Activated charcoal's enough. No wastewater. Yeah, reverse osmosis water. Strip it to zero, add what you need. Control how many parts per million of each input you're using. Calcium, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, macro and micronutrients without a calcium and magnesiums and shit and the borons and the damn baby. You can't be smoking a whole nother joint.
Sapo, ¿qué onda?
Now that just talking with Rusty.
Well, I'll be goddamn. Doctor, leave me alone. Where did you get your doctorate?
How you doing?
What's that?
Working on some CBD.
Have you ran anything through the CO2s yet?
No, I got to account for the CO2, so that's the plus.
Word.
And I just have no way of getting it. They could deliver, but I need an air compressor in New York, and I need a ride over there to get it. So there's a couple of things holding me up, but I did get the banking. I got approved for the banking. That was a big step.
Right
So
on.
there's one step at a time, and I'll get there.
Right on. Are you gonna have to alt?
Where's your target market, Doc? Like, where are you looking once you get your banking and your processing and everything, all your ducks in a row? Where are you trying to target?
I'm not sure yet. I'm just doing it. You know, I got a couple websites that are not complete. They're parked right now. So
What are you
I
gonna use
need.
them for? Offering like tinctures and such, or maybe or concentrates?
What was the question?
What are you gonna be using the websites for?
Well, I'm gonna be making products if I get help. Like I could do dog biscuits. I could do tincture bottles like these. Um, there's a lot that could be done. Tropicals, edibles. If I get some help doing it, it's just me. So I'm just doing one step at a time. And
Me and my mom used to rock exactly what you're talking about back in the 215 days, man. I'd be working 20-hour days nonstop. She'd be baking, I'd be processing. Plus, I worked at the club. And the club was 10 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah, might be doing maple syrup too, infused maple syrup. The people want to do it, but getting the
That'd be
food
nice.
safe, CO2. So we'll do a bunch of things like that if I can. You know, I'm really getting busy now. I still got to do the cups with the seeds. I got over 3,000 of Hoku seeds here, feminized, that I've been growing for the last couple of years. Yeah, I got a lot of CBD and a lot of CBG to extract. I just can't wait to get this thing going. This thing here is gonna be awesome. Yeah. So how's everybody doing? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I was blocked in chat, so I couldn't type in. Both of my accounts were blocked.
Lots of fools been blocking you, Doc. I'm not sure who you pissed off, but it looks like a bunch of peeps.
Yeah, well, just let you know, I was blocked, so I couldn't go in chat.
That's why I'm letting you know.
Yeah, well, they're just jealous of me because I got it going. I got hundreds of pounds of CBD to do. And you get 1 liter out of a pound. That's 333 of these bottles. That's say $30 a piece. That's 10 grand out of a liter. Okay, so if I got 300 liters, we're talking a couple $1 million here. So, you know, they're just jealous that I got licenses and nursery permit. And I got 2 farms in New York. I got one here and one in New York. You know, whatever. I've been into cannabis since 1969. You know, I had all the Colombian back in the day from Long Island. We had it all when I was growing up. And I used to get it too. I used to move it, you know. And all sorts of smugglers. When the Future Cannabis Project had that plane on with the Air Force, the guy that was moving shit from Jamaica. When I went to Chicago, my friend's father was doing that. He was in the Air Force, and when they got out, the kid told me that his father rented the plane, the same plane that they used in the Air Force. That was that plane they showed on the picture. Went down to Jamaica underneath the radar because he used to fly underneath the radar with military, and he went and brought pounds of Jamaican back. Okay, and the guy had it hidden underneath the front porch. So the kid's dog, the guy I knew, his dog ripped open the pounds and put them all over the front lawn. The guy comes home and his pounds all over the front lawn, and whatever they couldn't scrape up, the kid had to pay for it. The son, because I bought the guy's bicycle. I bought a Swing Continental off the guy. So, you know, he told me stories, and that was 1977. So this guy in the show with Peter had on said that it was 1978. So this guy was doing it before the show, you know, before that other guy. I bet you that other guy knew the guy that I'm talking about. They got to know them, you know what I mean? They must know them if they were doing that back in the 70s. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. I went to Chicago for 3.5 years. I worked, I had a job set up. I got sent there. Right then, what was that? 1977. I was out of high school and I was dealing weed. My mother got me a plane ticket and sent me to Chicago. And I had a job there when I got there. I did copper brazing. I used to run a furnace 2,200 degrees and used to soften steel called meal. And I used to do copper brazing where there was a paste on the part and I run it through the furnace and it melts the paste and does a copper braze. So I had to keep the furnace up to temperature so the paste would melt. Or if I was doing anneal and softening steel, it had to be up at 2,000 degrees. The furnace went up to 2,500. It was like the max when nothing was running through there. But when you start running through the furnace, it was a belt. There was a control to slow it down, speed it up. And the temperature gauges were right there. So when the temperatures got too high, I could speed it up. And as the temperature dropped, I couldn't go down below 1950. So the perfect was like 2,000 degrees. So I would keep it at like 2,000 degrees, and I worked there nights. And it was in Chicago, River Grove. Then I got in a fight with the boss's son. It was a pretty nasty fight. So I got the hell out of there, came back to New York in 81. And that's when the Afghani was here. Like, I missed it. My friend said, "Oh, you missed the Afghani." But he goes, "I got the seeds." He goes, "It was gigantic weed because we were used to getting Colombian." So he goes, "It's gigantic weed, and the seeds were like, we was calling them like golf ball seeds. They were big seeds." And we went into this place where they used to build helicopters, and they stopped building them, but it was all fenced off with like 12-foot fence, chain link, and we snuck in there and went into the woods. We cleared out a spot. We were growing Afghani. I used to grow with him before I went to Chicago. We were growing Colombian and Thai weed back in the day in the 70s. And then I went to Chicago, came back, and we grew Afghani. And there was like a green, a lime green weed coming out of Arizona we were getting. And my friend was doing that. My friend was going to Arizona, bringing it back. And back in the day, in the 70s, a lot of people were going to the Keys from Long Island and bringing back Colombian. And I was hooked up with these people on Long Island where, you know, I would look at the high times and I would look in there to see what the prices were. My prices were cheaper than what they had. I had it cheaper than what their lowest price was, where I could get rid of it at the low price and still make money. And back in the day, we had all the Colombian, the red gold, the orange gold, the multicolored. We had the stuff in High Times, the stuff that you seen, Mr. Toad, with the big knife in the pile in the New York City, that room filled up. I had that weed, the Santa Monica Gold. I had 2/4 pounds of that. My friend's the guy I grew with, his brother-in-law was a contractor, and he knew that he had the connection for that. So I got 2/4 pounds of that. It was like 125 for a quarter pound. I got that. I moved that. There was like gold buds in there, really light colored gold. It was brown. It was a brown gold. I picked out all the gold buds. what I got, and then I went back. I told the guy, "Yeah, I want another quarter pound," and I had like 2 quarter pounds of that. And the Afghani we grew in '81 was in high times. It's on the Queens Afghani and Vermont Afghani. I grew the same stuff as that. And so in the '70s, the hash we used to get was we were getting the green Moroccan, then we'd get the keef, then we'd get some black opiated hash, and then we had the blonde. The blonde came in a sack. It was a white sack with a stamp. I had 2
marathons.
2 of them. One was an airplane on the stamp, and the other one was a lion and a scale, like a balance scale, stamped right on the white sack. It came in with a string. And then we had the black hash back then too in the '70s, but then in the '80s we had the kaboo. The kaboo, the black Afghani came in, and we were getting chunks of that. And I had the piece. I had the piece with the gold stamp on it saying kaboo. It was like painted on there. Because when you break it apart, it was all like
wrapped in silk.
It was this was wrapped in an amber cellophane, like an amber color.
And that itself wasn't wrapped in a silk. It was just left in the cellophane.
The black hash came in the cellophane. It was like an amber color. I don't think it was the gold. Someone said it was gold. I guess they used different colors, but it was like a turkey bag material. But it was like stuff like when you buy at a wedding or something, they have the orange cellophane around the cookies. It was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been around weed my whole life, so I got licenses back in 2019 to grow. I got the hemp licenses in 2 states, and then I grew hemp for this stuff here. Actually came from 2021. I grew this because there's no seeds. 2020, they one of them hermited on me, and I had a few seeds, not many though. The first year I got from Simona, I got seeds from him, and then the second year was Blue Forest Farms out of Colorado, and they grew nice, man. I mean, I had 6 different types each time I grew, and then the year after that, I'm not sure. I think I went with Davis one year. I met him in Massachusetts. I met Jill. Jill is the lady that has a phototonic lab. I was talking to her before the pandemic. We were supposed to go have coffee together, and then the pandemic hit. So that was all screwed up. And then I met her at a show at Worcester at the Harvest Cup, and I was supposed to meet Jeremy there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to meet Jeremy here, and she looks at me. I go, Davis, and she goes, that's my boyfriend. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So So she calls him up, and then I go meet him by the LIE, somewhere on 495 off of 90. We met up at a Starbucks, and we hung out. I had my hash. I had all different types of weed. I had the vanilla. I had I gave him a whole bunch of seeds, and then he called up the office and told forget the guy's name offhand. He's like, oh, send out seeds to Frank Farm. And then they gave me like 4 land races on the side. They gave me like I'm not sure, I think it was Panama, and it might have been a Lebanese land race. I don't know. They gave me 4 land races, just a few seeds of those, and I grew them. But they take so long to flower here because it gets cold too quick, and the Thai we just don't cut it. I tried outdoors. I'm an outdoor grower, and so in the '80s, my friend, I used to be a shell fisherman. I used to I used to do oysters, mussels, and steamers, and bunches bunch of shellfish. And the guy I worked with was my partner. We used to grow with, and he had a connection, a big connection, where he was getting pounds of Colombian and Thai weed. Now I'm at my home, and he comes over, big black bags. He's like, "Here, take these for now." So he gave me 15 pounds of Colombian, and it was 2 pounds of Thai weed, I think, or 5 pounds each of. Might have been, I forget how many pounds it was of the Thai weed. It might have been like 5 pounds of each, I think. He had the chocolate and the vanilla Thai weed. And so I got a quarter pound out of each one of those. They were like $1.25 an ounce for the Thai weed. It was like 500 a QP. And I worked with some of that. So I had all the real shit, man, back when I was growing up. I mean, so I know what weed is, and what Colombian is, and what chocolate is, and what's vanilla, and the hash is. I know all of that. So the red Lebanese was very rare, and one of the dealers gave me an ounce for like 130, and no one else had it. I was like, it wasn't much, and he took care of me. So I had the ounce of red Lebanese. It was thick. It was like really thick and soft, and it was like maroon color. So I had an ounce of that, so I know what that is. And then when I went to Chicago, I was on the CTA bus. Me and my girlfriend, we went and visited my boss's sons. Because I'm all used to. I went there in '77, so everything I seen was either Colombian or hashes. It wasn't very few exotics were around. They called it back then. Um, Not too much of that going around. And then I went to Chicago. I forget what I was going to say. But yeah, so, when I got back, I just had jobs, and I was a commercial fisherman out on Long Island, out of the Hamptons. I used to go out on the trawlers and fish, and there was a time where We were 100 miles out in the Hudson Canyon. I was on an old shrimper. It was like a 65-foot shrimper, and the thing would be creaking as the waves came, and the boat would go ee, ee, as the waves come up and down. The thing was like singing the boat, and sometimes it would ice up where the splash on the deck would freeze up. You would have to go out there and chip the ice off, and we were out there. It was that night, and we were fishing, and we see this big boat pull up. It was still, I don't know how far it was, but you could see the boat. You know what I mean? We're like, wow, look at that big boat. And then all of a sudden, a sport boat, what they call like a tuna fishing boat, you know, someone that goes out sport fishing, all of a sudden the sport boat goes out there. We see the boat going to it, and the captain goes up. There's a deal going down. I was like, oh yeah, put up the high times flag, you know, and we like, all of a sudden everything lights up on the big boat. Okay, it's like a big whole thing lights up with lights, and the little boat backs up to the big boat, and they loaded the boat, and then all the lights go off, and all of a sudden they're gone. The little boat's gone, the big boat's gone. We're like, wow. So I went to North Carolina. One of my bosses moved down there, and I used to move vehicles down there for him. He was a roofer, and I was his mechanic, and I did roofing too with him. But he got a place in North Carolina on the waters. So I went down there, and the neighbor was one of the guys I grew up with in Long Island. Like he worked for a fish market down there where we used to go. We used to fish out of the shellfish out of the Nessaquag River, and for oysters. And we used to stop by there and give him some oysters to sell. And we knew the boss, his boss. Actually, they were into the tooth back then in the 80s. And my boss got into that too. So he was slinging bags of that. And everyone was doing that after a while. You know, I even had a bar I worked with that. There's stories about that. I went to the titty bar later on, right? Because I had little packs, and we had a good time. And then the undercovers walk in the bar. I was in the back, right by the back door. One of the girls said, "The cops are here. Get out the back." So I get out the back. I walk down the road. One of the guys in the bar was I grew up with, went to school with. I'm walking, he pulls over, he goes, "Yeah, the cops asked me, how do they know you? How do you know him?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I went to school with him." And I went over to the hotel. I just went over to a hotel there and got a room. And yeah, I got away pretty good, but I had one bar, the regular bar I used to go to, and then when that closed, we went down to the titty bar. So at that bar, I would go in there with I'd get an 8-ball and whack it to like 11.5 grams and go in the bar, and the moving company would get out of work and they would come in and take it all in like fucking 5 or 10 minutes, gone. And I used to take care of the bartender. I used to get all drinks for free. I used to drink beer back then.
Did you take your pants off too, or just the top at the bar?
What's that?
Did you take your bottoms off too at the strip bar, or just the top you did?
No, I didn't. I was the girls were dancing. I used to, what do you call, crumble up dollar bills, and they used to pull their panties down. I used to try to get a shot right in there. And then I was throwing so much money at them at the bar, the girl came back to me and gave me all my money back in a big pile. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, so so I was in the regular bar, and all the guys would come in from the moving company and take all the stuff. And I had a scale in the woods. I had a triple beam behind the bar. So when it was cool, they would open up the kitchen for me, and I would go out, get my scale, go in the kitchen and weigh shit up in the kitchen, and then go back out, get rid of the scale. Well, you go in the bathroom, it was nothing but white wrappers in the pail, the garbage pail. I had to go in there and clean all that shit out because, if someone walked in and see all the packages in there, they would be like, "Whoa!" So yeah, so there was steps that I had to do to keep the thing going. And then the owner goes, "Oh, we know you're selling weed in the back parking lot," and I wasn't allowed in there no more. And then I just quit doing that. It was an overnight thing, gone. No more doing that. And back to back to the weed thing. But in the 80s, no one was getting really weed. They all wanted the white back then. And yeah, so my friend used to get that. He hooked up with a big connection where in the 80s when I got back, he knew people already. So this guy knew a lot of people. So with the big connection, he moved a lot. And then in the 70s, my friends were going to Florida getting this stuff. And one guy bought a brand new pickup truck, filled the whole back up with sheets of plywood. Okay, he cut out a big section in the middle of the plywood, and he filled it up with weed. These guys had so many bales of weed, they had to bury it in the backyard and made a planter out of it. And what do you call it? They used to load the plywood up and nail down the top sheets and drive back from Florida with it. Oh, we had the tie stick too. I had an ounce of tie stick that was 130. It was like 20 sticks in a clump. And then we had in the 80s the loose tie came in. It wasn't the chocolate, it wasn't the vanilla, it was another type of tie weed. And I had one joint. Me and my girlfriend smoked it, and my friend gave me a quarter pound and told me to go to the college because I used to go to the college and hook up with all the guys on the dorms. Every dorm had a dealer on it. So I used to go over there Thursday nights and go to the parties and meet everybody and hook up with the dealers. And I used to bring them shit. And one night a week we had a meeting called the Plant Club where we all hung out and we talked about weed and everything. And so he's like, "Go take the quarter pound and show the guy over there." And I go over there, guy's like, "Oh yeah, tell him to call me. Or have my guy call him." So I go back to my guy and tell him, "Yeah, guy wants weed." He goes, "I need more." And he's like, "It's all gone." I was like, "Okay." Well, my girlfriend, she went over to the college and started getting weed from the guy I brought it to. And at least got to smoke more of it. I only got one joint out of it. And then the guy must have took care of the guy over there. So I've seen a lot of weed, all different types, and been around it my whole life. So I'm just a stoner, and I grew a lot of gorilla grows and stuff over the years. The cops came and searched my place a couple times. One time, they got me with a quarter pound, all broken up, but they knew me. I had a Corvette. There was a girl that she worked in a restaurant. My friend worked there, and they she let her girlfriend use the Corvette, and she was tripping, and she drove her through the water at Conscience Point. Conscience Point is down by the water, where the high tide, the water will come up over the road sometimes and be flooded. So she drove through the water and stalled. So the tow truck guy came, and he didn't want to get down in the water to hook the chain, the hook to it. So he hooked it to the fender. And of course, the car's fiberglass. So he broke a piece out of the fender. Well, my friend worked at the restaurant. He told me about it. I said, "Oh yeah, how much they want?" He's like, $2,000. All right, tell her I want it. So I get the Corvette. I flushed everything out, got it running, changed the oil and everything, and I had the guys. I know the guys that built racing boats. They built Hustler racing boats, and I had them do the fiberglass work, and they painted it. They put a nice blue down with hand painted pinstriping underneath, and they had the wet look clear coat on it. Now this car was never got dirty. When I used to take it out, I used to wash it before I took it out, and then when I got back, I used to wash it and dry it with one of those Scotch rags to get all the water spots off. So it was like a beautiful looking car. So I had the wheels done and everything to match the car. It was like beautiful. I still got it. And so the cops got all Corvettes. So they asked me to ride with them. So I'm like, okay. So we did two
What
runs.
the?
We went from Hampton Bays to Montauk Point one year. It just so happens my girlfriend at the time, her mother lived in Montauk, and I knew her mother. She took me there, and she worked in a concession stand out there, and I came. So it was like 50 Corvettes driving to Montauk, right? And I'm in the fucking group with them, and I smoke a joint on the way. It's like 45 minutes. So I'm smoking a joint on the way, and I get there, I'm like shit faced. So everyone's coming, all the cops are coming over looking at my car because it was so nice and everything. And I was just like stoned. They knew it. And we walked into the concession stand, and it was, what do you call it? The lady there was my girlfriend's mother. And she's like, "Oh, hi, Frank." And the cops look at me like, "You know people out here?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's the girlfriend's mother." And yeah, so the cops knew me and everything. They knew I deal. Like the fishermen that I knew, the brother was one of the cops, the East End Drug Task Force. His son used to fish, and I used to get his son weed. You know what I mean? So it was like they didn't want to bust me, and then I met this girl Jill, and her boyfriend was like a witness for something that went down, something big. He was like, they had him hidden. They put him in a place to hide him out there. Some kind of witness where they had to keep him safe and everything. So I ended up meeting her, and she used to trade me CDs. She was in a CD thing with Columbia Records. She used to bring me all brand new CDs and trade. And he knew the cops. So one time I was
All right, boys.
out of my place, and there's like a Fury down the road with all antennas on it. And I was going to go get a quarter pounder for one of my guys up island. And I'm driving, and I'm noticing this white Fury's like been around me. I'm like, what? So I stop at a 7-Eleven. I go get a coffee, and the white Fury pulls up, and the cop comes in there. I'm getting my coffee, and then I leave. And then they were following me. And then I'm driving down the LIE, and all of a sudden there's cops in the middle of the road in the medium. I'm like, what are these guys doing? They're like, well, I drove by, and they were like, that was like a checkpoint where, oh yeah, he passed there. They were trying to follow me. Luckily, my guy I used to get the lead from never answered the phone, so I never went there. So what I did is I ended up coming back, and my friend called me. Well, the boyfriend that was like a witness or something, he called me and said the cops are watching you. And I said, yeah, I know, because he talks to them, I guess. He's like a witness. And he's like, I told him to leave you alone. And then they left me alone after that. And then later on, they came and I was going to 7-Eleven. I pulled in there. I was meeting a kid. These are younger kids now. One of my girlfriend's sons, so they're like high school. They wanted a bag. So there's like 20 kids coming walking up the road. I pull in there. The fucking cops pulling all around me, like they're coming in all directions and surrounded me. And I'm like, I walk out. I'm walking into 7-Eleven. They say, hey, get back into your truck. So I got back in my truck, and now they're like, okay, now you're in the truck, so now we can search it. Now get out of the truck. And then they searched my truck, and
That's fucked up.
And then what do you call it? I had one of those gunk cans at the bottom screwed off. So I had like 8/8s in there, and the lady cop that was searching my truck was just laying in the back of the bed. She picked it up and unscrewed the bottom. I was like, oh fuck! So they found it. So they were like, okay, now there's two ways we can do this. Like, you give us permission to go search where you live, or we get a warrant, and then we're going to rip the place apart. And my landlord wouldn't like that. So, because I was a caretaker there. So I said, okay, come and search. And they found like a quarter pound in the closet. And one of my friends what, like some kind of gun? Like there were
Yeah. I'd stay longer, but I gotta go drop off my mail, Doc, and Rotten, everybody else. I'll see y'all later.
All right. Since there's no one else around, I'm gonna bounce. Thanks for having me on.
Looks like everyone jumped ship. I'm going to shut it down. I'll put the link up once more if anyone wants to hop on. If not, I'll shut it down in a couple seconds or a couple minutes. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Looks like no one stepped down contestants row. I'm gonna shut it down for today. Support Daga. Support yourself. Stay cool, y'all.